Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. This time we are going to learn about Module 6B, Legality and Environment Aspect. There are two submodules of Legality and Environment Aspect that we are going to learn about, which are Legality Aspect and Environment Aspect. The first of Legality Aspect. There are SIUP. SIUP is a permit issued by the minister or an official appointed to the entrepreneur to carry out business in the field of trade and service. Benefit of SIUP. The first is receive recognition from the local government. The second is as a requirement of dealing with the bank. And the third is making a relationship or cooperation with other parties. Type of SIUP. The first small SIUP must be owned by a trading company whose wealth is more than 50 million to a maximum of 500 million, excluding land and building for business premises. The second medium SIUP must be owned by a trading company whose wealth is more than 500 million up to a maximum of 10 billion. The last is large SIUP must be owned by a trading company whose wealth is more than 10 billion. SIUP-free company. The first brand and representative companies. The second is individual small company. And the last is wholesaler and street vendor. Next is brand. Brand is a graphic representation of picture, logo, name, word, number, color, or legal entity in the trading of goods and service. Brand divide into two. There are. The first is trademark. Trademark are marks used in good trade by person or person jointly or by legal entity to distinguish them from other similar goods. The second is brand service. Brand service is brand that are used for service trade by people or person jointly or legal entity to differentiate from other similar service. Classification on legal entities. Koperasi is a type of business entity consisting of people or union legal entities. BUMN is business entity whose capital is fully or partly owned by the BUMN government. BUMS is business entity established and capitalized by a person or group. Kind of BUMN, Perjan, Perum, Persero. Kind of BUMS, perseroan, terbatas, firma, CV, perusahaan persekutuan. Type of land ownership. HM is the ownership, can also be interpreted as a right that can be owned by someone. Also can be applied to other parties, and only Indonesian citizen or legal entities can own it. HGU, cultivation right, is the right to undertake agriculture activities on state land for a maximum period of 25 years. HGB, right to build, is the right to build building on state land for 30 years and can be extended for maximum period of 20 years, can be applied to other parties, and only Indonesian citizen or legal entities can own it. HP, the right to use and or collect result from land that is controlled directly by the state or other people land. Hak sewa, rental right are rights that authorize the use of land owned by another person by paying the owner some money as a rent. Environmental aspect. Environmental aspects are carried out to determine the impact of a company production process. KLHS, Kajian Lingkungan Hidup Strategis, is a series of systematic analysis process to evaluate the environmental consequence of a proposed policy, plan, or program to ensure that the intended consequences have been considered and included as early as possible in the parallel decision making. ANDAL, analisis mengenai dampak lingkungan, is a study of the large and significant impact on a planned business or activity on the environment that is required for the decision making process. regarding the conduct of a business or activities. Environmental Impact Assessment Procedure. Evaluation of AMDAL document is carried out for many documents and include an assessment of the administrative requirement. The first evaluation KA AMDAL, the second is assessment AMDAL document, the third is assessment of RKL, the fourth is assessment of RPL, and the last is environmental approval agreement. Step of the environmental impact assessment process. The outline of AMDAL process valuation steps are as follows. The first, identify the impact of the planned business or activities. Based on this analysis, it can be seen in more detail the negative and positive impact arising from business or activities. So the initial step have been prepared to overcome the negative impact and develop positive impact. The second, describe the baseline environment. Describe data relevant to the likely impact of a business plan or activity. The description is based on actual secondary data and is supported by the result of field observation. The third is predict significant impact. Explain the impact forecasting method. Use the estimate the magnitude and importance of impact is an AMDAL study. The fourth is evaluate significant impact and formulate a RKL and RPL directive. This section explain the method commonly used in AMDAL studies to evaluate. The last is the form of the AMDAL. Okay, that's all. Thank you for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.